The first idiom is break the ice, which means to start a conversation in a social setting or to help people feel more comfortable. It's often used when meeting new people or in situations where there's tension, and someone needs to take the initiative to make things easier. For example, he told a funny joke to break the ice at the meeting. To memorize this, picture someone literally breaking through ice to allow a boat to pass, just like you need to break the tension in a conversation to make things flow smoothly. The second idiom is bite the bullet. This means forcing yourself to do something difficult or unpleasant. It's used when you have no choice but to face something you'd rather avoid. An example would be, I didn't want to take the test, but I had to bite the bullet and get it over with. You can remember this by visualizing soldiers from the past biting bullets during painful procedures, symbolizing the need to endure hardship. Next, we have spill the beans, which means to reveal a secret or some confidential information, often unintentionally. This idiom is used when someone accidentally lets out information that was supposed to be kept quiet. For example, she spilled the beans about the surprise party. A good way to remember this is by imagining a bag of beans spilling all over the floor. Once they're out, you can't put them back, just like revealing a secret that can't be undone. Our fourth idiom is once in a blue moon. This refers to something that happens very rarely. It's used when talking about events or actions that don't occur often. For instance, I only go to the gym once in a blue moon. To remember this, picture a rare blue moon in the sky, just like the rare occurrence the idiom describes. The fifth idiom is beat around the bush, which means to avoid talking directly about the main point. This is used when someone is hesitant to address an issue straightforwardly. For example, stop beating around the bush and tell me what you really think. You can memorize this by visualizing someone literally walking around a bush instead of facing it directly, just like avoiding the main topic in a conversation. The sixth idiom is under the weather, meaning feeling unwell or sick. It's used when someone isn't feeling their best, often due to illness. An example would be, I can't come to work today. I'm feeling under the weather. Picture being stuck under a gloomy, stormy sky, symbolizing how you feel when you're not in good health. Our seventh idiom is the ball is in your court. This means that it's up to you to make the next decision or take action. It's used when responsibility is passed to someone else. For instance, I've done everything I can. Now the ball is in your court. To help remember this, imagine playing tennis, where the ball is now on the other player's side. It's their turn to make a move. The eighth idiom is hit the nail on the head, which means to be exactly right or accurate about something. It's used when someone makes a precise or spot-on comment. For example, you've hit the nail on the head with that analysis. Picture someone driving a nail perfectly into a surface, just like being accurate with your words or ideas. The ninth idiom is caught between a rock and a hard place. This refers to being faced with two difficult or unfavorable options. It's used when both available choices are tough or undesirable. For instance, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. Either I quit my job or continue working with no pay raise. Visualize yourself stuck between a literal rock and a hard place with no easy escape, just like this idiom suggests. The 10th idiom is kill two birds with one stone. This means achieving two things with a single action. It's used when one action solves two problems or accomplishes two goals. For example, by walking to the store, I killed two birds with one stone. I got exercise and picked up groceries. You can memorize this by imagining throwing a stone and hitting two birds at once, just like solving two problems in one go. The 11th idiom is burn the midnight oil. This means working late into the night, often to finish a project or complete a task. It's commonly used to describe someone working hard, especially when deadlines are tight. For instance, I had to burn the midnight oil to finish my assignment. Picture staying up late, using oil lamps to study or work, symbolizing the hard work done during late hours. Next, we have hit the ground running. This idiom means starting something with energy and enthusiasm right from the beginning. It refers to jumping into a project or task with full momentum. For example, she's going to hit the ground running when she starts her new job. To memorize this, imagine someone starting a race and immediately sprinting the moment they hit the ground, just like beginning a task with energy. Our 13th idiom is barking up the wrong tree. This means making a wrong assumption or pursuing the wrong course of action. It's used when someone is mistaken about something. For example, if you think I took the money, you're barking up the wrong tree. Picture a dog barking at a tree where there's no cat. It's making the wrong assumption, just like the idiom suggests. The 14th idiom is bite off more than you can chew. This means taking on more responsibilities than you can handle. It's used when someone takes on a task that's too difficult for them. For instance, I think I bit off more than I could chew by accepting 2 jobs at once. Visualize someone trying to eat a huge bite of food and struggling because it's too much to handle. The 15th idiom is cost an arm and a leg. This means something is very expensive. It's used to express when something costs a lot of money. For example, this designer bag cost me an arm and a leg. Imagine having to give up an arm and a leg just to pay for something, symbolizing how costly it is. The 16th idiom is throw in the towel. This means to give up or admit defeat. It's used when someone quits or stops trying. For instance, after hours of trying, I finally threw in the towel. Picture a boxer throwing a towel into the ring to signal surrender, just like giving up on a task. Next, we have cry over spilled milk. This means wasting time worrying about something that can't be changed. It's used when someone regrets something that has already happened. For example, it's no use crying over spilled milk. What's done is done. Picture someone crying over spilled milk that can't be recovered, representing how pointless it is to regret what's already happened. The 18th idiom is a blessing in disguise. This refers to something that seems bad at first, but turns out to be good. It's often used when an unfortunate event leads to something positive. For instance, losing that job was a blessing in disguise because I found a better one. Picture a bad situation dressed up in disguise, which later turns out to be beneficial. The 19th idiom is let the cat out of the bag. This means to accidentally reveal a secret. It's used when someone unintentionally discloses confidential information. For example, I let the cat out of the bag when I mention her surprise party. Visualize someone accidentally letting a cat escape from a bag, symbolizing the unintentional reveal of a secret. The 20th idiom is hit the sack. This means to go to bed or sleep. It's used when someone is ready to sleep. For example, I'm exhausted. It's time to hit the sack. Picture someone hitting or falling into a sack or bed to rest. Our 21st idiom is under one's belt. This means to have experience or achievement in something. It's used to describe personal accomplishments. For example, with 3 successful projects under her belt, she's ready for the promotion. Imagine achievements as medals or trophies tucked under someone's belt. The 22nd idiom is throw caution to the wind. This means to take a risk without worrying about the consequences. It's used when someone takes bold action despite the risks. For example, they decided to throw caution to the wind and invest all their savings. Picture someone tossing their caution like a flag into the wind and taking a risk. The 23rd idiom is a piece of cake. This means something very easy to do. It's used to describe a simple task. For example, the math problem was a piece of cake for her. Imagine eating a delicious piece of cake. It's easy and enjoyable, just like an easy task. The 24th idiom is cut corners. This means doing something in the easiest, quickest, or cheapest way, often sacrificing quality. It's used when someone takes shortcuts to save time or money. For example, the builder cut corners, and now the house has structural problems. Picture someone cutting off the corners of something to save time, but it ruins the shape or quality. Lastly, the 25th idiom is in the nick of time. This means something happens just in time, at the last possible moment. It's used when something occurs right before it's too late. For example, we got to the airport in the nick of time before the gate closed. Picture a clock striking the last second just before something crucial happens. You make it just in time.